welcome back to this week's Fragrances at the Office, brought to you by your workplace Karen, who is pretty much allergic to everything that you do, every fragrance that you own, every food that you eat, and is somehow a raging asthmatic at work, but can run a 5K on the weekends. To her or to him, without you, none of this would be possible, so thank you. In this episode, I'm going to be covering 3 fragrances that are in my collection that are office safe, 2 of which are already staples in my everyday work rotation personally, and the third one is one that I just received a few days ago. I want to get a few more wears on it before I add it to the rotation, but it definitely will be there. So without further ado, I'm going to give you the 3 fragrances here. The first one I do not have the bottle of here because, surprise, surprise, it's at work. But I do have a travel atomizer, but I'll put the picture on the screen. It is for Prada Loam. If I had to pick one fragrance that I had to wear for the rest of my life at work, it would either be between Prada Loam and YSL EDT. So Prada Loam, the reason I would pick it is not because it's my favorite fragrance of all of them, but because of what it does. For an office fragrance, it needs to be subtle, inoffensive, fresh, and doesn't project too horribly. So this fragrance does all of that. It hits all of those points and it still smells great. I'm not going to do full note breakdowns for these as I feel they're redundant, and I do have videos that have full reviews of these fragrances if you want to go check them out. But the main notes I pull from Prada Loam are iris and amber. The amber gives off this like warm vanilla type feel, so I get from this a powdery iris it has a soapy feel to it with a vanillic hue in the base. And that is really all you need to know about this fragrance. It lasts about 8 to 9 hours, so about a full typical workday for a normal person. It's inoffensive, it's fresh. If somebody walks by you at work and it does project to them, which it is a moderate projector, but if it projects to them, they're just gonna think that you're wearing a nice fresh soap. It's not offensive, it's a really nice fragrance. That iris really comes off real fresh. That amber really provides that nice vanilla. It's just a very nice fragrance overall. So that again is Prada Loam. The fragrance I want to talk about is another iris fragrance and one of my favorites. It is one that I've been putting in a lot of my spring videos from the house of Javanchi. It is Gentleman Eau de Toilette Intense. So again, it's an iris fragrance that the main notes I pull from this are iris, cardamom, and coumarin, which coumarin is very similar to tonka bean, if not the same. In comparison to Prada Loam, you do have that iris, although Gentleman does iris in a completely unique way compared to Prada Loam. So that's not very similar as far as the iris smell. And then also you get this vanilla hue that's similar, but it's from that tonka bean, the coumarin, and they do it a little bit different as well. In the opening here, you get again that iris, and then you get some bergamot to give it like a fresh citrusy background. And then once that dissipates, you get to the mid and the base. You're left with that iris again, which goes throughout the life of the fragrance. And then you get that powdery vanilla and some cedar to give it some woods, again, aromatic feel as well. It's a really nice fragrance. It's one of my favorites. It would last you the full workday. It's a little bit more heavy-handed, a little bit more warm than the Prada Loam is. It projects a bit more as well. And as an eau de toilette intense, it definitely should. So that is Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Toilette Intense. Third and final fragrance on this list is one that is not compared to the other 2. It's in a completely different realm. I just got it a few days ago in the mail. I sampled it and I knew immediately it was an office safe fragrance. It's more on the fruity and citrusy side. It's from the house of Coach. It's Coach For Men. So this is one that doesn't have the longevity or the projection of the other 2, even though you don't really need that for work. You do get a bit of projection in the first hour or so, but the main notes that you pull from this are pear, bergamot, amberwood, and cardamom. Really, all you really need to know are those 4 notes, because in the opening, you get this fresh citrus from the bergamot mixed with the main note in the opening, which is a juicy, fruity pear. And that is what you get for pretty much half of this scent. As it does get to that base, you do get some of that amberwood in there, as well as a fresh and spiciness almost from the cardamom. And that is literally the entire scent. And it's nothing out of the box. It's nothing super unique, but it is a great fruity scent that does not, it has a very moderate projection. It lasts about 6 hours, if that. But it is a great work fragrance, and I would definitely consider it office safe. And it is becoming one of my favorite random pulls, and I only got it a few days ago. To do a quick recap here, I had the Prada Loam, which the bottle's at work. It's powdery, iris, soapy, vanilla, lasts about 8 hours. We have Javanchi Gentleman Eau de Toilette Intense. Again, it lasts about 8 hours. It is a warm, it is aromatic, it's iris, it's fresh, has a little bit of vanilla as well. And then Coach for Men, which is a fruity citrusy with a fresh and woody base as well. So those are the three. If you do like this type of content and want me to continue doing this each week, the office safe fragrances, then I will. Please comment below, like and subscribe if you haven't, and I will be back with another one.